Good morning. How are we doing? Love and light. So, I wanted to talk about Saturn. He wants me to talk about Saturn. So, Saturn was in Capricorn and it moved into Aquarius. And like every 2.5 years or so, these planets shift around a little bit. So, everything that was built on, the regime of Capricorn, which is a slow, steady goat, those rules, regulations, things that were built, they're starting to shift and they're starting to change because we're not under Capricorn anymore, we're under Aquarius, which is like this sign for like people and groups and clubs and coming together and holding hands and singing Kumbaya kind of vibe, right? It's just not a Capricorn vibe. Capricorn's about like, I'm going to show you what I can build. I'm going to show you what I can build, and it's going to be great and mighty, and it's going to last. But it's the value of what Capricorn built right now that we're kind of examining. Did you build it in a good way? Where did the money come from that you built this? Kind of thing, right? It's just a shift. It's a shift. It's a changing of the guard. So one of the things to kind of look at, and I went to Jeremiah 34 in the Bible because these kings were fighting for the holy cities, right? Jerusalem, Babylonian, all these cities were under siege. Zedekiah was this king, and let's call him the Saturn in Capricorn, right? And God was being really merciful with him. He was being like, he hadn't really followed all the rules, but he hadn't really destroyed them all either. Like the king before him had like burnt the holy scrolls, like was totally defiant of God, and God just like got rid of that dude. But with Zedekiah, he's been kind of like, I see there's honor in some of the things that you've done, but I see there's honor in some things you haven't done, kind of things. So he's like, I'm going to send Jeremiah, my prophet. He tells Jeremiah, I want you to go to this king and tell him, look, I've got this change coming. I've got this Saturn coming in Aquarius. You're going to have to tell this dude, there's this shift coming. This Nebuchadnezzar, he's this new king. He's going to be taken over. So I want you to set them up for this, I'll bury him in honor. You had your kingdom. You won't be put to death and shame, kind of thing. He's telling Jeremiah this stuff to go tell this king. So Jeremiah, which he's lucky to be alive at this point because they have imprisoned this prophet. They have basically scapegoated this prophet. It's a miracle the guy's still around to deliver these messages, right? Do you feel like that, collective? Look, I'm lucky to still be here, but I'm going to tell you this. So he goes to Zedekiah and he goes, look, there's this new Saturn, this new regime. Saturn in Aquarius is coming, Nebuchadnezzar. Like I'm trying to use like these metaphors to help us out here. It's not going to work anymore, this thing that you're doing. So we just want you to free the slaves, the Hebrew slaves. That's what we want you to do. And I'm going to just read to you from the Bible where he's telling them this. It starts like 34 and verse 8, you'll see liberty unto them. He's talking about freeing the slaves. Verse 9, go free. Like let these Hebrews free, right? These Jewish, let them go free. Verse 10, then they obeyed and let them go. Like he's trying to convince his king, like, come on everybody, get on the same page here. We're going to let these slaves go free. Finally, verse 12, therefore the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, I made a covenant with your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondmen, saying, at the end of 7 years, okay, let every man and his brother that's Hebrew, that hath been sold unto thee, and when he has served the 6 years, let him go. So after 6 years, whatever, let him go free. That's what he's trying to tell this king right now. Jeremiah 34. It was a covenant with God. Okay? They did their service. Okay? This is what I want you to do because we got this new king coming, Nebuchadnezzar, Saturn in Aquarius. It's gonna be different. We're not gonna be doing these same laws and things that you did. It's great. We're gonna bury you with honor. No big deal. And you can't really give Zedekiah like a bad bill of health or like report card because he kind of walked into a shitty situation. So he was just building on what the last regime, kind of like when we elect presidents and things, they kind of walk into a shitstorm, right? So he was only kind of picking up where the last person had left off. But the complete honor and respect to God wasn't there. And God dealt with him, but basically he's telling him, look, if you do this part, if you obey this commandment, let the slaves go. So they started to do this. Like they started to let these slaves go. And then something stopped them where they just thought, this is bullshit. I'm not going to let these people go. And a lot of these wars were breaking out at the time. But it was like, the moral of the story is, he started to obey God and then he stopped. So it was on his heart to do something, but then something stopped him. Like, this is bullshit. Why would I do this? Like, this is my kingdom, right? I'm gonna take it all. When I leave, I'm taking it all. But there's an ending. There's this natural process, and God's trying to come to this king and say, look, if you do this, everything will go good for you. If you don't, shit's gonna hit the fan, kind of vibe. Alexa, play Edge of 17, Stevie Nicks.
Edge of 17, 2016 remaster by Stevie Nicks on Amazon Music.
So, anyway, the Spirit put that story on my heart to share with you because I feel like, you know, there is all these blockages and resistance. And then the other part that Spirit wants me to have you guys look at your 12th house and the planets that sit in your 12th house, because whatever's in your 12th house are the tools and resources to unlock secrets. The 12th house is the last stop in karma. It's ruled by Pisces, right? The old souls. For example, if you had Mars in the 12th house, that's your energy, right? That's how you move. Mars is how you move. It's your gait. It's your walk. If it's in the 12th house, you might be seen kind of like moving gangsta, kind of like secretive, or even maybe you work for like secret agent man kind of person because you're moving quietly, secretively, right? If your Mercury, this is really important, if your Mercury has any aspects to the 12th house, you're going to communicate and unlock those secrets. I have a feeling there's like a handful of you guys that I watch all the time. And there must be something with your Mercury in the 12th house because you are able to unlock things that were Pandora's box, right? Pandora's box. Who wants to unlock that shit, right? But that's important right now because that's why this king, Zedekiah, doesn't want to release what he's built because I believe that's going to unleash kind of, it was not built holy. Whatever he built wasn't built holy is the vibe I'm getting from Spirit. Like there was a way that he built things that wasn't quite right. And if we unlock those things from the 12th house, we might uncover some of those secrets that were unholy or unworthy in the sight of the universe, universal law, right? Why would you buy a $50,000 truck when you were using slave children to make clothing in order to buy that truck? Kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of vibe, or sell drugs or whatever. You know, you're driving a nice vehicle, but where did that money come from? And it's like unclean. It's not clean, right? We don't want things unclean around us. I'd rather have a 20-year-old vehicle that was paid for and just it's clean. You know, it's a clean title. I got a clean title. I'd rather have that right now. And that's the whole vibe of the Saturn and Aquarius is we're all getting our clean title. There's no liens on it. There's no karma with it. It's a clean title. Some of us look a little wary from getting that clean title, but that's the whole goal here. So yeah, 12th house, Pandora's box, 12th house, a lot of secrets. It gets a bad rap too, because the 12th house rules prisons. It rules institutions for mentally insane people. It also holds, it's the landlord for like genius too. Like Kurt Cobain was a Pisces. And he was also a really tortured soul because he was so, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot with the 12th house that's really sensitive because it's Pisces. Pisces is the river of the 3 water signs. Pisces is the river. Cancer's the ocean, right? It's the ocean. And then, what's the other little guy? Oh, Scorpio. Scorpio's the dam. It's contained. See, it's controlled. It's a fixed sign. So it's like a dam. And think of all the power that a dam can, like electricity-wise, can make. It's got a lot of power because it's contained water. So look at those planets. Look at who's, you know, paying rent in that 12th house for you and see if that'll help you kind of help unlock more of these secrets because you know, now that we are in Saturn and Aquarius, and I think it might be retrograde right now. But the bottom line is, no matter how we go back and forth over this, there's some stuff coming out that wasn't built properly. Just, it's not a clean title. And you're going to help me uncover that, right, Collective? And shine your light on some of this, because we're bug zappers. Are you my bug zapper friend? Just like the white window. Ooh, baby, ooh. The white window. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder why God picks the people he does to tell his message, or why Spirit picks the people he does to tell these things. I feel like, God, you just pick the most random person to tell these universal truths. And I don't know why he chooses us, Collective. I don't know why you were chosen, or, you know, it just seems like we might have come across some information in our path that all of a sudden we remember, and we think that might be valuable to somebody, and it unlocks something for somebody. You had no idea, but it's inside you, and all of a sudden you're like, yo, I'm gonna speak this for you. I hope this helps you out, and it does. It frees somebody, and that's what we're about. Like, these people that were in slavery for all this time, and all God's asking them to do is, hey, they served their 6 years. It's the 7th year. Let them go. And they started to do it, and then they stopped. It's like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
By the way, you have a new notification.
I have a new notification.
Do you want to hear it?
No. Alexa, play Tom Petty.
Shuffling songs by Tom Petty.
So,
on
yeah.
Amazon Music.
Like, even with the air signs, like, you know, I was telling you, like, the intensity of, like, Pisces being the river, and Cancer being the ocean, and Scorpio being this dam. Whatever your planet is ruled in the 12th house will kind of help you determine, like, how you're going to communicate that or unlock that. With the air signs, like Gemini's the tornado, right? Because it's all over the place. Aquarius is like the hot air balloon, it's contained. And then, Libra is that gentle summer breeze, because they're just so, you know, they're just so balanced. And, you know, you if that's your sun sign, you're walking your whole life to achieve that. But that's the goal, right? Because that's what you're here to learn for this duration. Anyway, okay, I digress. Okay, so the very first card is this. See, like what I'm saying, this stalemate between these two kings. Like, yo, I'm not done yet. I'm still on the throne. You're not, you know what I mean? Kind of this vibe. And it's like, I'm trying to work with you here, okay? I got these planets coming in that aren't gonna agree with, it's not gonna be like that anymore. So you're gonna surrender what you got. And he's trying, you know, he's a good God. He's just trying to tell him, yo, this is what's up. They're like that, or they're not having it. And then this is what's crossing it, is this spy, this person that has all this information. We gotta make sure, right? The ops telling somebody or something of what's going on, what's happening. Because this person, whatever, let them do what they gotta do. Because we got messages to give out, right? So, all right. You're unconscious of the amount of fighting you've put into this, how strong you are. You're so strong. Like I said, in the Bible, Jeremiah was lucky to be alive at this point. They were locking him up. They were like shutting him down. Like, shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear this stuff. Like, you are nuts. And this guy was sent by God. He's just trying to do what is natural to him. This isn't something Jeremiah is like forcing or pretending to be. These are just messages that he was put here and assigned to deliver. And he's like, really? You're going to make me go to this guy who wants to kill me and tell him this? And God's like, yeah, because that's what you're here to do. So you're so strong. I love you, Collective. You are conscious of this, that there's some sort of offer that's coming your way, or some kind of like relationship, or some kind of, I don't know. What is this? 2. You know, 2 is ruled by the moon, too. 2 is Cancer. This is Cancer's cups, water. It's kind of emotional. You kind of like being in this element, this fire. Aries is the forest fire. Leo is like the nice warm fireplace. It's very like, let's sit around the fireplace at Christmas time kind of vibe. And then you've got Sagittarius, which is the candle flame. It's the lightest, it's the most mutable of the fires. But you are more at your home in this element than you are this one, because this one has kind of let you survive a little bit more than this one. So I feel like if this is where you're headed, it may not be a comfortable situation, because whatever this is, you've built up so many like discernments in your mind that like you know, even though we've opened our heart chakra and we want to love, this just may not be the time for it. Is that a good way to put it? This may not be the time for it. This is what you're moving away from, this Hierophant. This is the Saturn in Capricorn right here. Boom. You know, think of the goat, slow and steady up the mountaintop. Look what I built, look what I built, look what I built, look what I built, look what I built. And everyone worships me and honors me, and I'm high status, so you can't touch me. Yeah, we understand that. We totally respect that. You've put a lot of work into your mountain. Okay, President Nixon was a Capricorn. Elvis was a Capricorn. There's a lot of Capricorns out there that did the work, had the talent, but then we have to like pull back the veil and go, oh, what exactly was going on while Nixon was president, kind of vibe. That's his vibe. Okay, we're moving away from that. Let's look at this dude, this little hermit guy. Because what's an Aquarius, right? Saturn and Aquarius, they're the hermit. You know, they're very social and outgoing, but they're weird. And so what happens is they get outcasted. Because they're different. They play a different instrument. So let's just put them on the cross and sacrifice the lamb, Aquarius. No, we're not going to do that. This is major universal shifts in power going on. We're going to honor the little guy sitting alone and his genius, right? Because somewhere in this time of reflection, this little Saturn and Aquarius person has realized, wow, there's a lot more ways, better ways to obtain things than what's been in front of me and what I've been served. And we're gonna dish that out now. It's time for dinner. Dinner and a movie right here. Boom. You're moving. Oh look, there's some pain ahead. There's some swords. At this point, you're kind of used to the swords. I mean, you're almost as comfortable with this air energy, this as you are the fire. And this is kind of where you're strongest, because that's what you resonate to, especially if you're in this Aquarius vibe. That's air, right? A hot air balloon. You're really controlled with it. You're gonna stay. You're gonna stand your ground. It's gonna be what it is, right? I'm not too worried about these swords, just because we've had so many coming up through this journey, and like we've ended this cycle, right? We've ended this like, yo, we're trying to work with you here, free the slaves. So this may not even be our pain. This might be the pain of Zedekiah realizing this is the end of a regime, and realizing, do I want to go out with some honor or none at all? This might be his realization of this too. So yeah, let's give someone else a chance to process some dark night of the soul stuff, because I'm tired. I want warm and fuzzy. I want comfort. Someone put that down. Okay. So this is how people see you. They probably see you as this really immature person that's trying to go around and like talk all this crap to people, like love and light. And I don't see any of us like that at all. I see like these shooting stars of brilliance from these readings, and I'm just like, you don't even realize. Well, and God's put it, or the Spirit's put it on your heart to say it, but just that you're the instrument for that. You're just so beautiful and kind to do it, and I lift you up. And if anyone sees you like this, yo, I know this a mask. I know who you really are, darling. So, and this is what hopes, fears, and wishes might be right now. Might be some coin issues, like you've taken me this far, you've carried me this far, I've been able to pay for things so far. And I think that's God's promise, Spirit's promise, that if He's carried you this far, He's definitely going to carry you through anything that's difficult ahead, because you honored the covenant, you freed the slaves, you didn't go back on your word. You know, you were trying to, He's a merciful, it's like we choose the sin, and then God chooses how to punish it for it, punish that sin. And it's like, he's not always just gonna like rip everything away from you because of this sin. He's working with you. He's asking you to do certain things. And as long as you do those certain things, things will go well for you. It's not rocket science. Oh, and looky here, the outcome. Look at all this. This is all the work that you've done. I'm so proud of all of you. All those bug zappers out there that are catching the bad guy and doing it just doing it badass. You're just doing it so badass. I can't even tell you. You're just so gangster to me. And the angels are so proud too. The angels are like, yep, I own that one. Yep, that one's mine. That one's mine. Yep, that one's mine. They're just like fighting over you at this point. I'm telling you, they're because they need you up there in the future. So they've already recruited you. They already like, nope, she's mine. They've already like labeled that person like, no, I get her. No, it's like Red Rover, and so right over. That's how you should feel right now. Even though you might be in like a different energy, don't bring it up higher. He's like, you don't even know how high I want to take this message from Collective. So, and it's all about Saturn and Aquarius, changing of the guards. So I love you. Light today, and bring that vibration up really high and share it for those around you. Even if they give you a look, just say, yo, proceed. This is my garden. I love you. Bye.